What's up, everybody? I'm here with Warren here at Miami Regional. Got fourth place.
Fourth place.
Took it with Han, Qira with no allegiance. What's up, man?
Man, I'm chilling, having a blast. Having
Yeah?
a great day. Yes, sir.
So let's jump right into the deck, man.
Let's do it.
Let's start it. So you had an MVP, didn't you?
MVP.
MVP of
Oh, yeah,
of your
I
deck.
do have an MVP. The MVP easily is Double Cross. I love this card because you get so much use out of it. Against Vader, it is such a big swing. This deck can afford it. It makes the money, and it's easy to get out there fast. Swing a 4 back at Vader, hit him with 6 or 7 more damage from your own dice, and it shuts off his power action because it resolves, not removes, and it's just really clutch in that matchup. I feel like it does a lot to stop Vader.
Nice.
And, I ran into a lot of Vaders today, so I needed it.
And you always had enough money, no problems with money?
Man, this deck just finds a way to always have money. Between Theed, between her dice, and I do this. I do say, like, a lot of people assume that an aggro deck is kind of you play weapons, you roll out, you do damage, the game's over. I think a deck like this actually has a lot more sequencing than people realize, whereas I will go an entire turn naked if I need to try to make money and then build that board state for the drop-ins, for the take flights, for the other combo pieces. So if I draw into a double cross against Vader or any deck with a big side, I'll hold that card turn 1, and that's what I'm trying to do turn 1.
Nice.
I'm trying to get them behind on damage early, I'm trying to do a little bit here and there, and then I'm trying to stack in the middle.
So you mentioned combo pieces.
Right.
I think we got combo pieces next.
So I only go 1 quick draw and 2 drop in. You could really go either way. I love that drop in doesn't rely on you having a weapon in your hand. And as long as you have your battlefield, which in this deck you're going to get to that battlefield either with your roll off or with hyperspace jump. And I feel like when you get that swing of being able to roll that in, quick draw is a nice one-up because you do have a lot of ambush guns in here.
Yep.
But I think drop in's a little more reliable because you don't need that extra piece. And I think it's worth the risk of running drop in even without the guaranteed battlefield just because of hyperspace.
So in my experience at the regional, drop in, everybody's going for the dream roll.
Right.
Like, just get so much damage.
Right.
Did you get that today?
So I did a lot of times. I did roll hot today, I will admit, but there were some games where I definitely had to find those sides. But I also like drop in for this card because if I'm going against a Vader and he's in action ahead of me and I have my battlefield, I can easily drop in into the double cross, which can really shut down his whole plan. It can shut down his friends at high. It can shut down his base damage for his Vader Saber. So just having that ability to get out there and eat one of those dice is just clutch in this deck. And sometimes you do just roll them off the table with big damage.
Right. So let's keep going through your combos here.
Obviously, to complete that, we have the bait and switch. Qira has 2 resource sides. Han has 1. And so there's a lot of times where you whip a little bit, or you might drop in and not hit that base side and hit a resource, and you can do the same. In addition to that, I think the combination of bait and switch and take flight can really just burst the damage out of nowhere. It's definitely like a Sabine vibe when you get that combo off. To be able to drop in and have the backup plan of take flight to fix that bad roll, if you roll bad, it's just huge. So the deck does try to do a lot quick. It tries to burst damage and get out of there. And a lot of people don't like the inconsistency of the deck, but I think with cards like this, you find that consistency. Obviously, you don't have the focus sides everywhere. You don't have the way to get there. But neither did Sabine. Sabine ran the meta for a very long time. I think this is like a baby Sabine in a way. Kind of does similar stuff.
Right. All right, give me your damage.
All right, so we're on to the damage. We got the holdout blaster, the hidden blaster. X8 is great, and I really ran the X8 for the mill matchup, which I didn't really run into, and it didn't really save me in the last one. But just being able to pay for that turn, which is actually pretty easy. Now, a lot of people, I've seen a lot of people with a build of this deck that do not like the Black Sun. I only like the Black Sun because you're running some guns like X8 and Hidden that are not redeployed. That's all free sides. The special is super good late game, and it's redeployed because both your characters are neutral.
Right.
So I really love that. I go 1 jetpack just because you got that 3 on there. You have a little bit of removal for melee, so it's good against Vader. You get the 2 shield side, which comes in really clutch.
Just a little extra something.
Yeah, just a little something. And I originally ran 2 of those. I did drop to 1 because a speed thing. the lack of ambush does kind of hurt. But that's it as far as guns. You're really just trying to get. And I will say about this deck also, a lot of people assume that you just want to load them up 3 each, 2 each on each character. I honestly like getting 1 or 2 down. Maybe even playing 1 on Qira, making a little money, playing 1 on Han. Just trying to get the dice out there because eventually they're going to run out of ways to remove it. Or say if you're not rolling it out all at once, they're not going to remove big chunks of your dice all at once. I like kind of playing off like that.
So how'd you save damage?
So clearly this deck has access to all the best mitigation because Qira just gives you whatever you want. The Hasties actually, I would say if I had to, we talked about the MVP, if I had to name a card that actually came in less clutch than anything in here, I feel like I use the Hasty the least.
So this is your negative MVP.
Yeah, and I mean it's a great card for the deck because you're moving fast, you don't have your battlefield, but I just feel like I used it the least.
Yeah, and we were very mill heavy here.
Right.
So this is a dead card.
Indifference amazing. If you're not running that in a deck with a neutral character, I don't know why, or moves anything for 1.
Yeah.
Clearly entangle, and these cards stay online the entire time. I just think that's so. I just think that's so huge. So I mean, essentially, you're looking at 8 cards. 1 of them can change a whole turn, and I love.
Would you swap this out for He Doesn't Like You?
He Doesn't Like You would probably be better. The only reason I like Hasty more was not. So another thing that blows people away about this, well, I won't say blows them away, but one thing people thought was weird is I do not run Vandalize, and there were matches where I think Vandalize would have really helped me. But I think you're trying to burst the damage enough that if you cannibalize your dice for a whole turn, you're sort of doing yourself a disservice. You're not really getting the damage out there. So I kind of feel the same way about He Doesn't Like You. I rarely have a die that I want to get rid of, but I would like to try it with I feel like that would be solid.
Yeah.
It's good.
And then give me your miscellaneous.
So obviously just Scruffy. If you're going against Vader, you can try to get that Vader Saber early, try to get that fist.
Yeah, that clutch play.
I honestly really wanted to find room for 2 of those, but it's just such a tight list.
Yeah.
1 Rebel for the same reason. Would love to have 2. I just found that there were something about having to rely on being on a discard side felt less good. So it's like I feel like it comes in clutch.
It happens, but
it does. But
1 out of 6.
There's going to be times where I haven't even rolled out, and that's the only mitigation piece I have, or the only thing in my hand, and it's like that doesn't feel good.
Yeah.
And then obviously, you want to talk about an MVP.
The piece de resistance.
I mean, we all know how stupid this card is.
Yeah.
We all know how frustrating it is to get jumped. But in a meta with 3 wides, with Vader, with things that can just stack the damage over a slow game, it's a must in a deck like this. You get in, you do your damage, you get out.
Yeah.
And it's just until it's gone, you got to play it.
Well, congrats on the top 4, man.
Thank you.
Congrats for your 1,000
blow. There's a Vader Saber somewhere. I think I gave it to someone to be a nice guy.
I gave mine away. All right.
Yeah, awesome.
Later, bro.
Thanks, man.
Bye.